What's good, Wagering World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. And here with now both my guys, my guy, the only Sacramento Kings fan I know, Spread ASTAIRE, and my 76ers expert, my guy Alex Noops Christensen, man. Guys, welcome, man. Good to see you guys again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, excited to be here today. Hey, it's the first day since we started doing the show, Five Star, that I'm not coming to you from sunny Sacramento.
Really?
Our first rain in 2022, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, is it? So you got some rain today?
Yeah, we're all celebrating here.
Well, I'm looking out my kitchen window right now. It looks like heaven, man. So I can't. It's a little different right now. It's beautiful Summerlin as always today. How's the weather in Philadelphia up there, Noops?
Not too bad. It's sunny. It's starting to get a little bit warmer. March is always funky. It's going to be really cold and ugly or nice and warm. Today, not so bad.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, guys, we got Noops in all day with us for this show. We're always glad to have him. You know, he's more than just a regular. He's family. So we're going to have him sitting in with us all day today, and he's going to have a couple of tidbits for you guys. Let's kick off yesterday's news spread. You did wonderfully, man. Great pick with Minnesota. I rode with you on that one. What a game by Karl-Anthony Towns.
Oh, man, that was so much fun to watch. And, probably the best performance of his career. I haven't gone back and looked, but the best one that I can remember, 60 points for Karl-Anthony Towns. And they needed it to cover that spread there. Spurs were playing good basketball. It was definitely an offensive game. But I was happy to get it home and not a lot of sweating going on in that one either. We had a pretty comfortable margin the whole game.
Yeah, that was nice, man. That was easy. It was good to have an easy one. Me, I didn't do so well. I took Rodgers last night against Fernandez. I don't do a lot of tennis anymore, especially as my free plays, because it's been kind of fluctuating this year. It's been a little different than in the past this year. A lot of upsets this year, as you saw with Mertens going down to Seville and things like that. A lot of weird stuff has been happening in the tennis. But I knew a little bit right before the match started that I was going to be in trouble when the line movements began going crazy, man. So I apologize that to you guys. Let's get back on the winning streak today. We're getting into the time of year that I love, and that's college basketball and March Madness. And my guys here are definitely two of the best NBA experts that we have in the sports betting world. So let's get to a little hoops, man. What's the ball and parlay today?
All right. This is actually a tough slate, right? Not a lot of really close games to handicap, but I'm going to go ahead and take a dog. The Orlando Magic are catching 10.5. They're at home against the Brooklyn Nets. And you're saying, man, you can't go against the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie. But I think the Magic are being a little undervalued here. Before the All-Star break, the Magic's net rating was minus 7.5. And obviously a small sample. But since then, it's been plus 0.3, right? So just showing you that this team is coming together. And if you watch them on the court, right, they have a bunch of young players and they just keep getting better. Franz Wagner has been excellent. Wendell Carter playing really well. And then, of course, the backcourt with Jalen Suggs and now adding Markelle Fultz back into the mix. And, as much as we hate this, right, you don't get extra points in the standings for covering the spread here. So if I'm Brooklyn, I look to build an early lead and I want to get my stars out of there, which I think will allow the Magic to cover this game late, right? Even if they're down by like 15 with 7 minutes to go, I still think I'm going to have a chance. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Magic plus 10.5.
Okay, and I'll go to you, Noops, before I do mine, but just a small tidbit on that. Man, it's crazy that you took the Magic. I was going to bring 3 on this morning. We had some prior arrangements. My guy that I mentored for years, who bets a lot of professional basketball out of Houston, he was on the other side of you last night. He told me to go take the Nets at minus 9.5, that the line would raise, and I actually told him I would wait because I thought that it might drop, and it actually went the way that he said. He watches a lot of NBA like you guys, and he said that he's on the Nets. He said that Kyrie Irving would be playing, and with Kyrie playing, to expect him to put on a show anytime he comes on the court, they're playing at a different level, and that they were going to smoke him. But I'm not going to get involved because both of you guys are trust the information. I think I'm going to just take on that game Kyrie Irving over 24 points.
All right.
Yeah, I like the Magic. I think that's a really nice pick. I grabbed the Magic as well, and the Pistons too. I mean, part of it is it's look ahead spots for both the Miami Heat is who the Pistons playing, and a look ahead spot for Brooklyn. And one of the nice things about the changes in the NBA has been they evened out the lottery odds and then created more opportunity for teams to get in playoffs. So you're watching some of these teams that in past years might have been really focused on tanking, allowing some of these young players to get out and play. And I think that's what you're seeing with Orlando. That's what you're seeing with Detroit. They look at the standings and go, all right, we can let these guys play, win a couple games here, try to build some culture to finish the season and still have the same lottery odds as we would, because we're going to have a bottom 3 record anyway. So they've been very competitive, and I like this Orlando team. There's some fun young pieces here. I don't know if there's any stars here, but it's a fun group. And Detroit, same thing. Now, Cade Cunningham's questionable, so wait to see if he's in to bet Detroit. But I'm with spread here. I like Orlando. This is a good spot to take advantage of a Nets team that probably gets a little bit of an over adjustment with Irving back in.
Okay, so now I got both my guys spread and Noops. They both say Orlando plus 10.5. So that's what it is on that side of the bottom parlay. For the NBA side, you guys know me. I'm going to the college basketball landscape. I was speaking to Hakeem Prophet a little bit earlier this morning. He was talking to me about this Indiana-Wyoming game, because like you guys, he concentrates on NBA. Everybody knows when it comes to college basketball or college football, come talk to me about it, because I'm the only weirdo that watches college sports all the time. Like, my TV's consistently on that. And I was telling him, man, I know the starting lineups better for Loyola Chicago and BYU more than I do for the Orlando Magic or the Denver Nuggets. Like, I'm serious, dude. I don't even know who starts in the NBA anymore. Like, I'm serious. They change up so much. It's so much fluctuation now in the lineups, dude. I don't even keep up with it. And the brand of basketball, like I said, it's unwatchable to me. If I had something else, probably more scruples involved in the game, then I watch it. Certain games that I pick and choose. And of course, I got my TVs on if I'm at home, or if I'm at the sports book, I'm glancing up, checking out some stuff. But I can't watch a whole game of the NBA right now. It's rare that I find a game that intrigues me at all, and it makes me want to get involved in betting side, or even just on the entertainment side. But I'm going to have to definitely step it up, because I know college will be over at the end of this month, and I have to be worrying you guys off for NBA information. So I'm going to have to watch a little bit more of it now. But I know college basketball 100-fold times more than the NBA. And it's because the reason I like college sports so much is because I feel like you can always find advantages in talent. You can find advantages in and also the conferences that these teams play in, and the type of competition that they face that prepares them for these tournaments. And that gets us to Indiana tonight. Indiana -4 against Wyoming will be my pick for the ball and parlay. A lot of quote unquote sharks and experts on Wyoming. I call them number robots. They're watching the numbers. They're doing all of these rebounds and the time of possession and all of these things that don't even matter at this time of year. What matters is you always ride in tournaments the hot team, and you also ride the team that has the most experience. And Indiana is way more experienced than Wyoming in these type of games. They've been pretty much playing playoff games the last 2 weeks, because every game that they were playing was an audition to get into the NCAA tournament. Proud tradition. Mike Woodson from the Knicks is doing a great job. They're one of the few teams that run some NBA plays in the NBA. In the NCAAs. He runs some great sets. They got a superstar in Trace Jackson, which is his dad played for Indiana Pacers. He's a star down low. They also have Race Thompson, who plays great off for him, a very versatile power forward, about 6'8", can shoot, can rebound, can pass. And the most impressive thing about the Hoosiers' latest run is Xavier Johnson, their transfer point guard. They transferred from Pittsburgh. He's doing a wonderful job. He's probably a top 10 point guard in college basketball right now. These tournaments are based on that. Wyoming is not battle tested. They had trouble in their own conference. The WAC, they were good, but they're playing in the WAC. Each time that they face their stiffest competition, that the team that most resembled Indiana in conference, which is San Diego State, which is also physical, strong, and athletic, no shows. They lost twice to them, and both games actually weren't that close. They played Arizona this year and lost by 40. I really, really, really like this Indiana team. If not for them running into a juggernaut in Iowa. Hey, man, they would have won the Big Ten tournament. I was that team right now. I was just hitting on all cylinders, but Indiana gave them the stiffest challenge, even stiffer than Purdue gave them. I really like this Indiana team. I like where they're going. I like the confidence that they're playing with. I like all the pieces that they have. I like what Woodson is doing over there on the coaching side, and I just feel like it's a total mismatch against Wyoming. Sometimes the books do have bad numbers, and I feel like this is definitely one of them. The Big Ten Conference is definitely, if not the best conference in America right now in college basketball. It's top 2, top 3. So they've played in it all season, and they've been one of the top teams in that conference. I don't see them having many problems with Wyoming. I know Wyoming's pretty big down low. They have some three-point shooters, but at the end of the day, I think Indiana's confidence, Indiana's strength of schedule is going to play a big part in this game, and that they'll pull away late. So let's go with Indiana University -4 for my side of the ball and parlay, and my guys are going with the Magic plus 10.5. You guys bet these straight, and you parlay them. Anything else from you guys before we get up out of here? Anything for you, Noops?
No, nothing. I mean, unless you guys want to talk some futures here. I mean, we're starting to get towards the
We
end
got
of the
time
season.
spread.
Yeah, I got a great morning this morning. Yesterday, crazy. Today's nice.
Let's shoot. We haven't had you on in a while. Please bless the people.
Let's start with the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference is a lot more, I think, exciting and interesting, and there's a lot more kind of dynamics to talk about there. So let's start with the West here. So we kind of we give everybody their proper due. But you look at the standings right now, and I'll start with a pretty simple question. If you can't pick the Phoenix Suns to win the Western Conference spread, who you taking?
Just straight up for prediction, or including odds?
Hey, who do you think who's going to win the Western Conference if you can't take Phoenix?
I think the Warriors, but I think by the odds, I'd rather have the Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies are interesting because, I mean, it's that classic young team, and you guys know you've been watching NBA for a while. There's that buildup, right? It never quite happens the first year, and I think they can make the Western Conference Finals, and the West is so wide open. I mean, so same question for you, Andre. If it's not going to be the Phoenix Suns, then who?
The only team that can compete with the Suns to me is the Warriors with Draymond Green. That's the key. If Draymond's playing and he's fully healthy, that team's battle tested. They got some nice young pieces to go along with the vest that's already over there. Maybe Clay hit his stride by then because he hasn't been playing that well. But I like the Warriors. And then after that, a dark horse for me would be the Nuggets. They're getting healthy, and they got a couple of their star players coming back, I'm hearing, before the postseason. Jokic, as you guys know, of course, with you love Jokic. He's probably your favorite player next to Embiid, right, Noops? So Jokic is somebody to watch with the Nuggets, man. Watch the Nuggets team. I like them a lot too.
Just makes me so happy to hear you say that when you were clowning on him 2 years ago. It's a shame I don't have that on record anywhere.
Wait, before we go any farther, I was never clowning Jokic's game. He's one of the most talented centers I've seen in the game for sure. He's versatile. He's one of he has the best handle probably of any center in history. Now, so don't say that. I respect his game. I was laughing.
I know you just don't think he's the MVP.
Exactly. He wasn't the MVP the year, and he didn't win it that year. Giannis won it. The year you're talking about, he didn't.
Whatever. I was a year off. He won last year. I got to win that year.
Right,
anyway.
But you're the one that said he was going to win 2 years ago, and I laughed at you. He won last year. Last year I didn't laugh at
that
you.
year.
Last year I didn't laugh at you.
All right, we'll go back. I'll have to find some of that stuff.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago, brother.
I like what you said about Denver. I mean, Jokic is great, and if they can get back Murray, I mean, Porter Jr. is a nice player, but Murray, I think, is really what they need. Their guards are so weak there. Yeah. They're kind of a fun dark horse. So I've been looking around trying to wait.
Man, Bones Highland just needs more time. I'm telling you. He
was great last night.
He did good last night, yeah.
So all he needs is more time. They might end up moving on from Murray. I'm telling you, Bones Highland, he hasn't even showed his athletic side. I'm a college fanatic. I watched him all at VCU. The kid can go, man. He can go. He hasn't even gotten a chance to get loose. He has the same type of speed as Maxey too, but they don't run no type of plays where you can see his athleticism.
Yeah, one of my favorite losing tickets of the year. I got some Bones Highland Rookie of the Year at 100-1. So
I remember
if they can get Murray back, that's pretty fun. I mean, I'm looking
so
Nuggets
good in Vegas, right? He looked so good in the Summer League. Yeah.
if the Nuggets, I'm looking Nuggets to win the Western Conference 14-1. I think that's worth a little bit of a sprinkle there. I don't know about the Grizzlies. 11 is a good number. There's probably just a touch of value in there, but I would try to buy out once they got the Western Conference Finals. But yeah, I mean, it really comes down to the Suns, and we'll see if they're healthy. I mean, anything else you guys have to say about the West?
Yeah, I got a question for you. So you mentioned Memphis, right? And I think you make a great point that no team ever usually goes from, losing in the first round to making the finals. Dallas has been playing well. Kids got them playing defense, right? We got to go back and delete all those NBA previews I did where I said Jason Kidd was this terrible coach because for whatever reason he's got them to buy in and play well. But would you put them on the same level, right, where they've lost in the first round the last couple of years? Would you say that, like the Grizzlies, they can't make it all the way to the finals, but because that team's looking pretty good and they got the superstar, right, in crunch time to get things done?
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I think you're right. This could be a season where we see them trying to make the finals. But before we give too much credit to Jason Kidd, I think getting Porzingis out of the building and making it very clear that it's not just his team, and bringing in Dinwiddie, who for whatever reason couldn't figure it out in Washington, and I think is a great player, one of the more underrated players in the league. And he's finally comfortable again in Dallas again. For whatever reason, he wasn't happy in Washington. So I think it's a lot of those things.
Kidd forced him out. Kidd made it so uncomfortable for him that he had to leave, whereas I believe his previous coach was kind of like not saying anything, just going about business. You know how he coaches, Kidd is a guy that's going to get in your face. So I think Kidd called him out and made him really uncomfortable to make him want to go to management and go on and get the hell up out of there. And I know they're glad that they're glad in Dallas that he did. Luka's playing unbelievable. You guys got to remember, the confidence that Giannis holds is all due to Jason Kidd, and he's putting that same confidence in the already confident kid with Luka. We're teaching them how to deal with the NBA and to be a professional every night, and that, hey, you're this type of player, you have to play to this level every night. He put that in Giannis, man. He's doing a great job with Luka over there. I like what Jason Kidd's doing a lot, because it's in the NBA, you guys know it's not as much X and O's in the NBA. It's more about being a psychiatrist than anything. So I like what he's doing, man.
And I think you make a great point about Dinwiddie. I think that that's an indictment of the Washington organization, that they couldn't make that work, because the guy is so talented, and you see how he's coming to Dallas, an even better organization, and in a tougher pressure situation, and he's getting it done. So I like the young coach they added in Washington, and I was feeling great when they started out 8-2 or whatever. But for whatever reason, to push him aside and not make him feel wanted or valuable in that system, that's another indictment of the Washington front office and coaching staff.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're absolutely hit the nail on the head there. It's a shame for whatever reason that they can't put it together. But you keep Ernie Grunfeld on for that many years, you should generally be questioned about how good you are.
Exactly.
So yeah, Western Conference, grab yourself some dark horses, look for a big number on the Mavs and the Nuggets, and we'll see if that's interesting. I mean, there's a chance one of those two are in the Western Conference Finals, and then we're holding a nice little bit of equity there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Eastern Conference. I'll ask you guys a question, because in general, I think there are three teams that can win the East: Milwaukee, Philadelphia, and Brooklyn. Am I sleeping on the Heat?
Yes.
Or the Celtics even?
Yeah, I mean, this is the best the East has been in, I don't know how many years since the East has been this wide open. I think all five teams have a legitimate chance. The Celtics, right, kind of getting hot at the right time. The Heat, right, the question marks are, can they get it done on the offensive end when it matters? Because when it comes to the other teams that you mentioned, I'd say they have the worst ability to create shots in the half court with less than 2 minutes to go, in those clutch situations, 4 points or less as the lead. But regardless, right, they have the defense to get out there, shut teams down. I think all the teams have a legitimate chance here. I think this is it's going to be so much fun in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, the East is hot. It's going to be great, man. You got some real absolute killers over there. When it comes down to crunch time, you got the Celtics, got two guys who aren't afraid to take shots with Tatum and Brown. You got the Nets with two guys who aren't afraid to take shots with Kyrie and KD. You got two guys with Philly who are not afraid to get fouled and get to the free throw line. Embiid, Harden. So, and then you got the Bucks with, Giannis. He's a great playmaker. He's not necessarily going to close it out, but hey, they got the ultimate closer lately when Chris Middleton in the last couple of years has been one of the best fourth quarter players we've seen in the NBA. It's rare that you have a player like him who can shoot so well that he doesn't even have to really get a dribble, just get an inch of space, and he's going to score it. If he gets to look at the rim, it's in. So I'll be very interested to see the East, Noops.
See, I'm just not there with Miami. You know, at the end of the day,
Neither.
playoff series
Neither.
often
That's why I didn't say them.
playoff series often come down to which team has the best player. Miami is going to come into series and they're never going to have the best player on the floor. In some of these series, they might not have the two best players on the floor, depending on what shape Butler's in, depending on whether or not Bam Adebayo is finally going to take the step forward we've been waiting
He's
for him to
nice.
take for the last 2 to 3 years.
He's nice.
I like Miami's depth. You got to love Spoelstra. I mean, that's a huge advantage. They have a lot of flexibility. It's a perfect set of things for him to play with. And you start to pick apart these teams. Nobody in the East is perfect. You know, we've seen Milwaukee. They're really going to need to reintegrate Brook Lopez to get their defense back to where it was. And again, once you get down to their 8th, 9th guy, it can be a little tricky. Sixers, same thing. 8th, 9th guy is a very bad position. Even their 7th guy could be a little touchy. There's going to be a lot of Furkan Korkmaz minutes and a lot of tweets for me about those Korkmaz minutes that are not going to be positive.
Yeah.
And we also have Doc Rivers, which, you know, with all due respect to Glenn and all his fantastic work, is just behind the 8 ball against some of these guys. The Celtics, I think, once you get to the NBA playoff time and these coaches have some time to figure out how to defend these guys, it's going to be a similar story. But they've been fun. But it's Milwaukee or the Nets to me. With all due respect to my Sixers, I don't see it. They really need one more piece.
And Harden is why you don't see it. And you know it's the truth. It's Harden. We've dealt with it in Houston for years. I've been a Harden defender for so long. I can't defend him anymore. And the reason why is because now not only is he playing afraid, he's lost his athletic ability. He's not the guy we had in Houston, dude. He's not, you know, I watched him every night for 6 years. He's not that same guy. He's very cerebral though. So he's so smart, he can get it done. But it's not much he can do off the bounce anymore, man. He's not,
Well,
he's not as electric as he used to be.
You don't need him to play like he was in Houston. The usage is going to be way down. I actually like the role. I've been heartened by the fact that he's trying on defense. I mean, he actually moves around all right, gets his arms up. I mean, a spread, what do you think? I mean, do my Sixers have a chance, or does it come down to the Bucks and the Nets?
They do have a chance, but I think you're right that the Bucks and the Nets are clearly a tier above. But hey, we've seen in these playoffs anything can happen, right? We saw 2 players go down for the Nets last year.
It's the mental advantages. You know, it's the mental advantages. You guys know NBA still stands for no boys allowed when the playoffs start.
Yeah.
See, they drop all the whistles. That's why Harden struggled over the years as he progressed more into conning the refs to get foul calls. You know, Embiid is going to have that same issue. When they get to the postseason, refs know you can't blow whistles all game like that in the playoffs. You have to pretty much let them work it out themselves. You know, toughest man wins. That's the problem they're going to have when they're dealing with the Nets and the Bucks. Both of those guys have a mental advantage on the Sixers. They look at the Sixers and know that they can beat them. Whereas when they face each other, the Bucks and Nets have a respect level for each other. They both know that they're great. You know, they have a different type of like, oh man, I got to come with it tonight. These boys are coming to play. The Sixers, they don't look at it. They feel like we're going to pump Harden. Embiid's going to get his. Everybody else, we're going to shut down. We're going to just let them shoot open and they're going to miss, you know, basically. The Heat, going back to the Heat, Jimmy Butler is a shell of himself. He's more past than present. Everything, he's getting a lot of hype still because of who he is. He gets commercials and all that. He's made a great move, but he's on the back end of his career, and you could tell the moves that he's doing, man, these little 18-foot jumpers that he used to, you know, be money in the bank. He never makes them anymore. You know, he's always on the bench. He's always hurt. So I don't see him being able to step up his game enough to lead that team in the playoffs. It's going to have to be Bam. And Bam has the ability. It's just does he have the maturity? You know, he has the ability, but I don't know if he has the maturity to do it. I love Hero. He's ice water. He's not afraid at the moment. He plays ball. I love Vincent. I love what's the kid they got that came out of DePaul?
Strus.
I love him. They got some real shooters, the guys that step up, but come on now. In the playoffs, you know, now Miami's tradition, Spoelstra's a good coach. They'll win, you know, first round, maybe get to the semifinals, whatever. But I don't see them being a factor, being able to actually beat in a series the Bucks, the Sixers, or the Nets.
Yeah, and that's why I keep coming back to the Bucks. I mean, the Nets are going to be really great, but they just have such a tough path. I've been scooping up Bucks futures, you know, every now and then. I got a bunch of them to win the East between plus 350 and plus 400, and then title futures right around plus 800, plus 900. Give me the Bucks. I mean, that seems like kind of my best bet. Any last thoughts from you guys on the East?
I love the Bucks title future. I think, as good as the Suns are, whoever comes out of the East, I'm going to favor over whoever comes out of the West, right? I guess the team that I'd be most scared of actually would be a Red Hot Warriors team, because 5-Star was talking about the mentality. They're going to have all the confidence and they're going to be free rolling, right? Those guys got jewelry regardless of what happens in that series.
Yep.
The Warriors is probably scare me the most, but I think, if you like the team to win the East, go ahead and throw that title future down too, because I think the champion will come out of the East this year.
Oh, the champion's going to come out the East. There's no way if the Nets and Warriors play each other in the championship, for instance, or even the Suns. The Suns are a great team. We've only seen the Pistons and the Spurs pull that off as being actual team-based, not superstar-based teams win the championship, right? Would you agree?
Yeah.
So how many years of basketball have we seen? And it usually still comes down to who has the baddest man. So out of the Nets, man, I just see the Nets as tough. I feel like this whole issue with this back stuff has Kyrie Irving on a whole nother level mentally, and that he's really out to prove something. And that when you have a guy with the talent, I consider him the most talented player on the 6'2" to ever play in basketball as far as in his skill set. Because the guy don't even show his athleticism. He can dunk and all that stuff. Do
you
crazy.
Put him over Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah, I do. I
right.
Just recently, I do. And
I don't know if I'll get with you there, but that's cool.
I do. Barely. They're neck and neck. It's the three are him, Iverson, and Isaiah. That's not unarguable, right? Those three are the three. So they're interchangeable. I do both of them injustice by even comparing them. You know what I'm saying? They're both just great beyond belief. But Kyrie, just because of the times we live in now with social media and the news and things meaning so much as far as in public opinion, he's not appreciated as much, Whereas in Zeke, think about how Zeke was. If he was in today's time, they'd hate Zeke. Right? Like Zeke was like a horrible ambassador when it comes to he didn't give a damn about being a friend with anyone in the NBA. He didn't care about fouling you, playing dirty, whatever it took to win. He was a real gangster. And, I met Isaiah before. I got a friend who coached with him in Florida. And Zeke is a gangster dude, man. You meet him in person. He's a good guy, but he doesn't play. Like, he's serious. So I'm sure in these times he would have been, the same way that Kyrie Irving is treated and looked at as the worst guy ever. I'm sure he would a lot of people would dislike him too if they had the coverage that we have now. But the point being is Kyrie's game, we've seen him before. He loves to play against the best. That's what he lives for. Being on the stage against Steph Curry, that would be a dream to him, just so I could embarrass him again and show you guys that even though you think he's better than me, he's not. And then you got KD. KD's just a sniper. He doesn't even talk. Now he just started talking a little bit. He's just going to kill you, man. He's just going to do what he do, and he's going to make his point. I really think the Nets win the championship, honestly. I don't see anyone beat them if they stay healthy, because that's the problem. Because last year, we know Kyrie Irving, he gets in these playoffs. Now he's unleashing his real game, putting too much torque on his knees because he's doing some moves that the body's not supposed to do. And one wrong, twist of an ankle or knee, and all their hopes go out the window. So they have to have Kyrie Irving and KD to pull it off. If they have those guys healthy through the playoffs, I like them to win the championship. Because like I said, I don't see the Suns having enough ammo for them. I don't see them being able to have anyone to step up to the level that those two players are going to step up. The Warriors do. The Warriors and them could go 6 or 7. It'll be a great series. But I like the Nets definitely to win the championship, guys.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. All right, guys, that's all I got, unless you have any questions for me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm about to make you guys get on this doggone we're going to get on some college basketball. We can't on the first day of March Madness not talk any college basketball. I know you guys don't cover it as much as I do. I just want to look at a couple of the brackets. Have you guys even looked at the brackets yet? Had time to with all your NBA work?
Yeah, I've been starting to poke around. I always sort of pick up college basketball over championship week, and then I'll run a bunch of numbers. I mean, I always focus on give me teams that make their free throws versus teams that don't. Give me teams that are good 3-point shooters and good offensive rebounding teams. Just basically hunt the 4 factors. And I mean, Gonzaga's got a decent spot there, and I've got them in Texas Tech basically in most of mine. Looking at the other side, I mean, Arizona, with all due respect to Villanova, I actually think Tennessee might be there against Arizona in the final. If you look down at the bottom, I love fading Kansas. I'll probably do something stupid with Iowa. They're just a team. They check all the boxes for me, even though they're kind of limited. And then Baylor, I mean, everybody's sleeping on Baylor. I'm not sure why, but I'll have a Baylor bracket.
I got a plus 1,100 ticket on them, and one of my good buddies of mine. He's a cardiologist out in the Woodlands, man. A good friend of mine that went to Baylor. He also has them at plus 1,000. So we're gonna be rooting for those Bears with that. That's some great choices. You sound like a real professional college basketball expert right there.
Doesn't take much.
Those are great teams you picked. What about you? Do you know anything about anybody spread that sticks out? Anything stick out?
No, you know, we're going to talk a little bit after the show because I got a little bracket contest with my buddies, and I don't really care about the money. I just want to win.
Right.
So they don't know that I'm going to be putting in a 5-star influence bracket. I'm not
Right.
just guessing like I normally do. So they're up against it. But no, I don't have any great insight to share there. I'm going to let you guys carry that one.
I very much agree with Noops. Noops was dead on out the West. It pretty much is going to come down to Gonzaga facing up with Texas Tech. I see it as well. I think Texas Tech does beat Duke just like you do. I feel like they're too tough and play defense too well, and the Duke is just is an immature team. They haven't gelled as some of the Duke teams have in the past before. And I think the pressure of them trying to perform for Coach K's last year is really getting to that team. You know, I think they're playing a real tight. So I definitely I think Texas Tech will beat Gonzaga. So I'd go with Texas Tech coming out the West. Out the East, I'm hoping for Baylor with my ticket, but they have a tough matchup. If they get to the Sweet 16, they would play most likely North Carolina, or they might get Indiana because Indiana can beat North Carolina. So they have to be very careful with that in the East. I also like Virginia Tech over Texas. I like Purdue to beat Virginia Tech. So I think Purdue and Kentucky match up, and I like Purdue in that game. So out the East, I would definitely go with Purdue or Baylor, or the winner of Baylor, Indiana. Indiana, people better watch Indiana. They coming to the tournament hot. Them and Iowa are two of the hottest teams. Arizona coming into the tournament. Up top, Arizona, as I said, they've been hot in the South region. Houston is a real good team. You know, Kelvin Sampson does a great job with them every year. They will take on.
Don't make their free throws.
They can't make the free throws. That's the problem. If they can make their free throws, they would beat Arizona because they're going to play defense. But they can shoot the three, and they're real scrappy. That's going to be very interesting. Houston and Arizona in the Sweet 16 will be a fun watch. On the lower side of the South, we're going to have, looks like Tennessee should have a cakewalk through that. Like you're saying, I don't see Villanova giving them any problems at all. Villanova's too short. Their bench is too short this year. They don't have 6 players that can really actually contribute. So with all of the players that Tennessee shooting at you, the pace that they play, they're going to give Villanova hell. So like you said, Tennessee, Arizona is the two to look out of this. And in the Tennessee-Arizona game, I actually like Tennessee. So I like Tennessee, I guess, to come out the South. And at the Midwest, we would go with Kansas would be playing. No, I'm not picking them. I'm just trying to see what they get to in the Sweet 16. Most likely Iowa. So Iowa can beat Kansas. They definitely can beat Kansas. I love the Murray boys, man. Those guys can play, man. They got a great team over there. Coach McCaffrey does an excellent job, man. They're one of the most versatile teams in basketball. I love the way that they play. I love their style, man. So let's look for Iowa to get past Kansas. Then in the bottom bracket, they'd have my LSU Tigers. I don't know if they're going to even beat Iowa State. Then they get Wisconsin. Wisconsin is good. They have a major star at their guard position that can actually step up and become a real factor in March Madness and carry them. USC hasn't played well this year. Auburn is not playing good at the moment, and you don't want to come into the tournament playing the way that they are. So we'd probably get a matchup in this one of Auburn and Wisconsin, and I like Auburn in that game just because of their athleticism against Wisconsin and their pace. But if Wisconsin can slow them down, but neither one of those guys probably could beat Iowa. So I guess my picks would be Iowa, Tennessee, Iowa, Tennessee, and Baylor. Coming out of the East and coming out the West, we're gonna go with. Oh man, This one is tough out there. This one is real tough. This is the only one that gives me problems.
What are you worried about, Gonzaga, Texas Tech?
I guess Texas Tech. Yeah, Texas Tech. It's Texas Tech. Gonzaga is gonna be a tough one, dude. That one's gonna be tough, man. But I think Texas Tech can pull it out. I think Texas Tech. That's not a good matchup for Gonzaga. So we'll talk about this more as the tournament goes on. We got games coming up now basically every day of the week, starting today. And one of my plays is Indiana -4. To you all, the best of luck. We were so glad to have you here on a little extended version today of the Daily Wager World, because we got our guy in here, Noops, my guy, man. Thanks, Noops, for coming in, man. You know you're more than welcome to come anytime. Tell them where they can see you at daily.
Yeah, to follow me on Twitter at _Noops. I'm the host of Brown Bag Bets, which is 11:30 Monday through Friday. That's Eastern time. You can find us on YouTube. And then if you want to hear me talk more NBA, the Bet US NBA show, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's 4 p.m. Eastern. Again, all that you can find through my Twitter at _Noops.
That's right. And Spread, anything for the people before we get out of here?
No, I'm just excited. I already got my bracket halfway filled. So I think I'm going to win this tournament. My buddy's going to be like, you don't even watch college. How did this happen?
Right. Okay, man. So you know where to follow Spread at Spread ASTAIRE. Me and him will be back with you guys tomorrow. We look forward to you. The best of luck to you all again, and we'll see you tomorrow.